Well, Alex finally finds his mom, and to his surprise, she's actually doing well. Arizona finds out that Sophia is a thief, and so much more to talk about tonight on the Grey's Anatomy After Show. Don't go anywhere.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Here we go.
Home last night.
I really wish I knew how to play like a. It's not even a guitar. What's it called?
It's a banjo. It's a banjo.
Right.
I was on the drum.
This.
I like this though. Came home last night.
This is my new favorite. It's my new ringtone.
Or the harmonica.
I like this though. It kind of relates to Alex going home, finding his mom in a good place.
It does. It works. It totally works.
I feel like that little
It works with Arizona's storyline too.
It does, yeah.
We got everyone.
Yeah, everyone is
going
covered with
home.
this. Yeah.
They're going home.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I am your host, Elle Marie, and to my left we have.
Hey guys, I'm Krista.
And I'm Tori.
So just like we do every week, we'll just give our overall opinion on the episode tonight.
Yeah.
So how did you guys feel about it?
I liked it. It was really heartfelt. It was like an uplifting episode.
It was.
You know, I
It was
just felt.
preparing us for-
Oh yeah, I didn't
But-
like the previews for next week, but I liked this episode.
Yeah.
I like this episode too. It was very. I don't know. It's kind of like a roller coaster. I expected a little bit more like emotion, but I am satisfied with it.
Mhm.
My heart goes out to Alex.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that poor guy.
Right?
But I loved this episode.
Yeah.
It was good.
I just want to jump right in and go ahead and start talking about him and Joe taking the trip to go find his mom, because in previous episodes he started to get worried because she was no longer cashing the checks. So of course she had schizophrenia, which I had forgotten about. I had forgotten what like her
Right.
issue was. I knew it was something
Yeah.
mental, but I had forgotten. So his worst fear is that, you know, she's either dead or just out roaming the streets because she's having an episode. But then he gets there and he's looking around the house, and the neighbor comes up, and I'm thinking like, oh, he's gonna be like,
I
what
know,
are you?
I was so
What are you
scared.
doing, right? And then he's like, oh, she's at work. The neighbor tells him she's at work, and he's shocked by that. He's just like,
I know, he like walks in the car and I'm like, what, is she dead?
right.
And he's just like, she's working.
Right.
Joe's kind of like,
Because Joe felt, we all were like, well, what
for
happened,
like,
Alex?
murderer? I don't understand. Like,
But-
what?
Yeah, but that was good though to know like she's up on her feet and working,
Yeah.
and then he goes to visit her.
Yeah.
But
And she looked well.
she
She
did.
looked really well.
I mean, he goes to the library, and I mean, she's clearly in her right mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think I was a little taken back, and this is where my heart kind of went out for him, is when, you know, like, he's expecting, like, this huge, long, like, explanation, obviously an apology, and he doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
And when we see him get upset, when he keeps asking these questions and she's like not at work and like we want to have this conversation
Mhm.
later, my mind immediately went to, does Alex trigger his mom?
Yeah. I think honestly what's helped her get better maybe is like the kids not being there anymore, because it's so hard to keep a routine. I can imagine, I don't have kids. But when you have kids at home and like they're doing different things, and how she said that's been the number one thing that's kept her in line, and even him being there and asking questions, and you know, I'm sure that was like a huge stressor, and when you have a disability like that, anything that stresses it. So I think probably her being
Yeah.
alone, so I'm sure it was a little bit. I don't think it was entirely him, but it was probably all of it. Like,
Yeah.
she had 3 kids, right?
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
that she was,
Yeah.
you know, the best with them, but that's a
Yeah.
lot.
But yeah, that's a lot. And then becoming a single mom.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
she's doing
you
it
having that
alone.
issue,
You're right.
Yeah. Like that is a lot to put on someone. And now when, you know, so Alex is asking her all these questions and she's starting to kind of have a breakdown. Like, you have to go. Like, you can't
Right.
be here. And I know that probably hurt him again because, like you said, he's kind of expecting an apology or just like, let's catch up on old times now. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And then he's still being kind of rejected in a sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Which,
so,
I mean, that sucks.
Mhm.
I would hate that. I'd want an apology too. I'd want to catch up. I mean, at the end of the day, that's your mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, you're just going to have that natural connection of like, I just want to make this better.
Yeah.
So,
hmm And I think, and Joe had to bring that to his attention because he was upset. You know, she took
Yeah.
him to the batting cage. I love Joe.
I loved her. I like how she decided to get him to talk about it.
Yeah, you know, and in
Brilliant.
his way.
Yeah.
Like knowing him, like do something where you
Let
can
the
get
aggression
aggression out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then she tells him, like, you may not get those things. You may not get the apology, the acknowledgement of how much you helped, how much you had to do to raise your other siblings.
Especially because
you know?
she's sick. She's not thinking about
You're
those
not going to
things.
get that. So that part you have to let go.
Mhm.
You know, and like she said, like, but you have her back now and accept that. Because I was feeling for him when he was angry, and then he just broke down into, why now? Why when I don't need her?
Yeah.
She's better. And I was like,
I know, that was so, it's like, it just goes to show how hard that must be to be a kid
Yeah.
with parents or any family member. I was like, oh, he's really hurting.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
I
It's all
see
valid.
it as like a humbling experience for Alex, just because it like obviously anybody, like we said, is like
Yeah.
looking for that his mom, I guess, to fill that void, and instead of like, yeah, we get it, like
Yeah.
you're upset and you have your like moment of anger. He could have easily had his moment of anger and then just let it be and just kind of dismissed her and forgot about her.
Yeah.
But he didn't. You know, he really does listen to what Joe has to say, and like he goes back and just expresses to his mom like how proud he is. And I feel like that's really big for Alex to do.
Oh, yeah. I
You know,
feel like
like-
it's made him who he is. Like, this whole
Yeah.
experience, Alex is as sweet as he is with patients now, and he's the
Yeah.
kind of person he is because of who his mom is.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And then him realizing, like, he has to work his way into her life. He's like, I want a library card.
Yeah.
I know. I was
my
like, that's so
gosh,
adorable.
Like, who's willing to do that? You know, Alex is.
It was very touching, and at first I was watching like, oh, I thought it was going to be more of them, like, because
Yeah.
I felt like we saw bits and pieces of this, but then now that we're talking about it, I feel like actually it was just enough.
Yeah.
Because it didn't need to really be drawn out and like a strong focus on them. It's like, this is what happened, this is how it went down,
Yeah.
and boom.
Everyone in the chat agrees. They want more of Alex's mom's scenes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which that would be nice. I wonder if we'll get some. And
Yeah.
everyone's loving Joe Licks. I
Absolutely.
agree.
I loved how it was Joe who invited Helen to
I
the
know.
wedding.
Yeah. Mhm.
Adorable.
Right. And she was so, I think Helen was so moved by that, even though she essentially turned it down. She's like, I would want nothing more than to go, you know, but I can't for
Routine.
travel purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I was just like, wow, like Joe definitely turned that what would have been an awkward moment into like something really special.
Exactly. I loved it.
I loved it.
I did. too.
Loved it.
Let's get, like I said, that was pretty short, so we can go ahead and jump into, let's go to Arizona next.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
She had a lot going on.
God, I
This
love
episode.
Arizona too, and every episode I get more sad that she's not going to be around next season because I really do love her as a character.
And I mean, of course, she is leaving how we all
right.
suspected
Yes.
that she would leave.
As of
Like,
now,
it's
yeah.
official now.
Right.
We know how
Unless
she's leaving.
something like goes
They better
all
not. We don't have
backwards, but
time.
that'd be insane. Yeah. Could you imagine? I said, never mind.
I don't have time for the writers to
Actually,
do
we're gonna
this.
kill her off.
We're
Yeah.
just it wasn't April that
No,
gets
stick
in an
to
accident.
her going to New York. That plane is perfectly fine. It works
Right?
well.
That's true. Yeah. Oh God. Oh no.
She will get to her destination.
Drive to New York.
safely.
Right? Well, her and
Drive.
cars.
I don't know.
Don't do
I'm
that.
gonna still vote for
Take
the
a.
plane.
What can she do?
Just hike.
Take a train, a bus.
Oh goodness. Oh, but yeah. So we know that she's finally going to
Yeah.
move back to New York, and poor Sophia, smart Sophia.
I mean, so, also, what was their setup before? Was it like, how were they doing it between parents? Because she was with Callie. Like,
I think
what
I
was
she had-
thought
she
she
had-
was just visiting.
I didn't really. Yeah.
Arizona.
How long of an extended? Because
No, Arizona had gotten custody. Remember they
Oh,
they
yes.
had a custody
But
battle.
she was just
And-
visiting Callie, and then came back. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I totally forgot.
Yep, and so she got custody of Sophia, and then Sophia, but she's missing home so much.
But then again, Sophia, your home is Seattle because that's where you've been most. So I also
Yeah.
think Sophia is being a little bit of a brat.
true,
This is
true.
true.
That is true.
This is true.
But like I
But
get
at the
it.
same
She misses,
time,
and also
yeah.
like your parents are states away, and she's
Yeah.
in second grade. That's super difficult.
Yeah, and
but-
you don't really know exactly how to
Yeah.
express yourself yet. you
That's
know?
true.
Right.
She's just not making it any easier for
Yeah.
poor.
True, but I'm also like second grade versus like I don't know 5th or 6th
Where you
grade
have,
when
like,
you
friends
actually
set in.
have friends who
That's why I
know
feel like it's
who
more of
you
a mom
are.
thing.
Yeah, I think it's just
I
more of a
miss
mom
my
thing, yeah.
friends. and my school sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree with Karina on the fact that, like, Arizona definitely, like, coddles.
Yeah, a little bit, definitely.
yeah.
Like,
But then it's like, so she steals the money to buy her a plane ticket to go to New York.
Oh,
And Arizona
someone in
find that
chat
out.
said, because didn't they come to an agreement? She had won, but they like decided to split custody. Because someone said they were splitting the holidays and every other summer, and she spent a year with Callie, and now it was Arizona's turn. So that explains why she got used to her school. And okay,
Yeah.
now I feel a little bit better
still
about her
think
being
that you're
there.
in second grade
Yeah.
and you don't know any better, but okay.
Yeah. So first grade, New York.
Yeah, that is
Second
very
grade
young.
Seattle.
Yeah.
But yeah. But like I said, she's stealing money to pay for plane tickets, so she's actually pretty smart, I guess. You know?
She's a genius.
I would have never
And
thought
is
of
writing in a diary and can write all that. Like, how
Right.
can you write that well at that age?
that. Are you sure?
Oh
you're
yeah, I
in
had a
second grade?
diary
Yeah.
in second grade.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while since I was in second grade. I don't
I definitely
remember.
was in second grade. Maybe like fifth grade.
Yeah.
I think that's when I
like, oh.
started mine. And it was all like, Mom's making me clean my room today. You know, that kind of stuff. It was like,
We're behind on that curve.
Yeah.
I like diaries. They were fun.
Did your mom ever break into you?
I probably. She didn't tell me if she did. It would have been like all back talking her, so she wouldn't
Did
have
you hide your
appreciated it.
diary though?
Yeah,
did
I'd
your
like
mom
stick
have
it
to,
under my
like-
mattress, and it had a little
Okay,
key.
Gross.
the diaries I had, like I was hiding it. Like it was in a box of like blankets, tucked in, pushed in, back in the like nobody was getting it except for me.
I
It's-
didn't
oh, yeah,
hide
there you
mine,
go.
but it had like a little combination lock, so I thought that was secure.
There you go.
Which it is, because I remember a few years ago I was home trying to get into it.
Couldn't.
What is this thing? So it was secure.
See? There you go.
But by Sophia doing that leads Arizona to feel like she needs to kind of protect her.
Yeah.
Meaning like protect her spirit, protect how she feels, and if she's acting out this much, maybe that is the best thing for her is to go back to where she wants to be.
Yeah.
You know?
But I love like the story and the thought process
Me too.
that she had with Teresa that got her.
I
to
agree. That was
point.
so touching. I
Right.
had goosebumps.
Right.
Yes.
I think
That was
we
so
know
perfect.
where Sophia might get her intelligence from.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
At
Shades
least
of
half of her
Callie.
intelligence.
But no,
like,
that was like such a perfect setup. And
It
you could
was.
see her coming as she was like telling Teresa what to do and that she's a mom and your kid comes first. It was like in her eyes, she was like, oh my God, what I'm giving you advice I need to be taking.
Right.
it.
It
Yeah.
was like, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
It was very, it was very
that
touching.
was very touching. Yeah.
And like how she was going through her whole, and also like everything that she had been through medically to kind of help ease Teresa with her
the
fears
leg
and
and the
everything.
skating.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then so I wrote in my notes, I don't think we actually knew why she skated, or before.
She just said her
she
dad
did say
used
it.
to
Yeah.
take her as like every
No,
time they
before
move.
tonight. Did
Oh.
we know?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I was like, wow, that's cool. We
Yeah.
finally
What,
found out
no,
what the
yeah,
skates
that
were
was
about.
like a little Easter egg that we've been
Yeah.
waiting to get for years.
Right?
I was
It
like,
was
why is this
We
me
just knew that
always
she
skating
was
around the
a
hospital?
military brat, and
Right.
she moved around a lot. But that was.
I
like,
thought she
the
just did it because
extent.
she was in peds and it
Me
was
too,
cute. I
right?
didn't think
It
there
was
was like
like-
this cute emotional
Yeah,
story
she
behind
came
it.
on the scene just skating away.
Yeah,
with
she had the
shoe skate
wheelies.
thing. Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay.
Thought it was a peds thing.
But now it makes sense.
Yeah,
And that's pretty cool. And I think she may kind of, maybe I don't see them moving around a lot. And of course, they'll be off the show. So we won't know the future of Callie, Sophia, and Arizona. But that may be something that she takes with her family to something. If you're moving around a lot, take something from the old place that you can have someplace
Yeah.
new, you know, to kind of keep you grounded or keep you, like she said, she felt safe. So, but yeah, I was like, that was cool to find out what the skates really meant for her.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't move around a lot, but like I knew people who did move around. I'm like, I wonder if they had something that
Like a
kind of,
little
like,
momentum or a
Yeah.
memory that associates being
every
safe.
time that
Mhm.
I want one just
Just
have one.
Like a little
I kinda
security
feel like-
blanket.
That's kind of how I feel. It's with food, but like sometimes if I'm out here in Los Angeles and there's a restaurant that has like some type of Chicago featured food, I'm like,
True,
Yeah,
yes.
I wanna-
like you get this
Yeah.
feeling
Yes.
because you miss home and it's a little piece
It's
of
like
it.
cheese,
that's-
Wisconsin cheese
yes.
out here. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, see, we don't really have much out here relating to Texas, but there is this bar called El Tejano.
See?
That is
Yeah.
Texas themed, and I
That's your
love
thing.
that
See?
place.
And that's
So
nice.
technically for Tori, it's
Yeah.
alcohol, but
No, wait. Well, I'm gonna say their margaritas are kind of big. So.
now we know. So we all have our own version of skates. If you guys in the chat want to let us know yours, hopefully it isn't the same as Tori's.
Disclaimer: alcohol is not my thing. I'm just saying.
Sure.
See, Righty Melody said I moved around a lot and I never had a safety thing. Well, girl, get you one.
Right?
You can have Tories.
You can.
I should have never said that.
I'm not gonna let you live this down.
I see. Okay, but going back to why we were here, can we talk about Teresa?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
that was...
her storyline was really interesting to me. I had never heard of.
What did they call that? The fear of or surgery? But what was the
I
term?
forget the term.
I thought
Does
I
anyone in
didn't
the
write it
chat
down. I
remember
didn't
what
write
the
it down.
term was?
So used to it being there, I just looked at.
Yeah, something
Nothing
phobia,
Yeah.
obia. But yeah,
but-
she literally freaked out, and
was
she went
it
to touch her
just-
stomach.
Is it fear of surgery or is it fear of like being
I think
like
it was.
put under?
I think it was just surgery and so everything associated with
Yeah,
surgery.
okay,
I'd
yeah,
assume
okay.
because of her dad who died in surgery.
Like, 'cause she doesn't, like she said, like, if give me a sedative, like, give it to me from behind, like, don't let me know it's coming. Arizona's like, we can't do that. But, like, so that's
Imagine just
right,
like clocks her, clocks her
Like in the
they do in the
movies.
movies. Oh, it's
But,
latrophobia. Latrophobia.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So yeah, that is a lot to deal with when you are pregnant, and then on top of that, you have a huge medical issue with your
what
baby.
if you have to get a C-section? How are you going to have that baby? First of all, you're pregnant. That's like minor, like you're
Right.
pushing a baby
Yeah.
out. So that's got to be scary for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So how's she
Yeah.
going to do that? Maybe she'll be better now. If I was her husband, I'd be like, oh God.
Right. So
Are we gonna get through this?
Right. Like, I'm pregnant, so you know we have to go to the hospital, right?
Like, we're going to have to go there.
But usually, for the most part, you do know if you're gonna have a C-section or not. There are like those rare instances where like you've been pushing, you're like, okay, now we have to have an immediate C-section, like if the baby's breached or something. But,
Yeah.
So I feel like it would have been the same scenario of Arizona having to like brief her and tell her some story.
Yeah.
You know, to help her get through whatever.
Yeah. And I thought DeLuca was going to freak her out even more, because at first I was going to be annoyed with Maggie bringing him along, knowing like 'cause it opens up with him. He's like snapping on Hellmouth and the other girl. I don't know her name.
I
He's
like
not
him.
in
You
the right
okay?
place
Yeah,
right
like,
now.
you need some more time off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Or
you
he needs
see
to go
him in this
move
energy.
to her at this point.
Yeah,
like,
right.
bye.
Just go be with Sam, because he's in this energy, and Maggie's like, "Oh, this will cheer you up." Not with someone who is freaking out already.
No, get him out of there.
Out. Like, he's like, yeah, so she could do this. She could possibly be paralyzed. He's running down the list, and you
Right.
are supposed to give them the risk of the surgery, but be a little more sensitive
Right.
when you're dealing with someone like that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Arizona's
I
like,
also,
"Up, up."
I was kind of worried that she might die or the baby, something would go wrong because they
That's
were
what I thought,
hyping it.
too.
It was super
Oh, my
touching, and I was
goodness.
like, don't you dare.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the look that Arizona kind of
Would've wrecked
gave when
me.
she had to say, "I promise."
Promise?
Like she was gonna wake up like, "I promise."
I was like, don't tell her that. Don't do it. Thank
That's like-
God
that's
she's
like-
alive and
She
well.
totally caught on, and she was like, "Well, it's easy for you to say because if
Yeah.
I'm dead, then
Right.
You're off the hook.
Yeah.
oh my
But
goodness."
yeah, I was nervous on that part. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm just glad we didn't see a lot of DeLuca and his bad attitude.
Yeah, I'm
this
glad that
episode.
didn't-
Yeah, that's
last
all I
long,
needed to
'cause I
see
was like-
from him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, DeLuca might be next on the chopping block.
Like, I
mean,
hope he
like
gets
him, but
over
all
it
this-
soon. It's just like,
Because I just don't understand what they did with those two characters. Like, you have Sam come on, and DeLuca's like, oh, she's a stalker, all this other stuff.
Not
like,
into
you weren't
it,
really
no,
into
yeah.
her. Now you're
Right.
head over heels in love with her 2 weeks later.
also, she
Yeah,
must be
like-
fine because she hasn't called to check on him. So
Right.
she's doing just fine, DeLuca. Like,
Just fine without you.
she good.
Somebody said, TQ said, "Can we talk about Hellmouth's crush on Mare?"
Yeah,
Oh.
I saw that. It's hilarious. That's actually one of my lines later. So,
Okay, in that case, TQ, we'll get to that later.
We'll say
I
that.
mean, yes, but it's hysterical.
But speaking of Meredith, let's talk about her and her. So this the guy at the bar.
Whose
we get
name
his
we
name?
do not know.
Oh,
Still didn't
yeah.
get his name. I was like, dude at bar.
We'll call him Dude at Bar.
Dude at bar. Okay.
Hashtag Dude at Bar.
And I'm like, also, who knew Joe's had coffee?
I mean, I guess when you're across the street from a hospital, maybe.
you
I
should.
thought
But
you were raising your hand like you knew.
I've been. You know, those are for the nights that Ying would sleep there and they'd have to wake her up in the morning when she was bartending. Like,
It's probably, a coffee pot just left over.
Yeah.
From that. But yeah, so she is in the bar with this guy. It was almost just the two of them. And she starts to introduce herself because he's
Yeah.
like, "Are you here for the Meredith speech or Grace speech, whatever?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, actually, I am." She was going to say
Yeah.
Meredith, but then stopped
even-
herself. Like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I am. I'm here for that."
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Yeah, and I was like, I wonder why. But maybe just a moment to like digress,
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and also, why does Meredith keep getting these like little interactions with guys to flirt with for one episode? But she's a strong, independent woman. She don't need no man.
She
But you know what I
doesn't,
mean?
but
They
where
like
is-
put him in and then they take him away.
Where's Nick though? Wasn't that his name, Nick?
That's what I'm saying.
I
like,
thought that was
we keep
about to
getting
happen.
dudes that just come for one episode and she gets her
Yeah.
flirt. She's just testing the water, seeing if she still likes
True.
it. You know,
Exactly.
I hope Nick comes back. Maybe he'll come
I
back next
liked
season.
him. Yes,
All right, that's be my prediction for next season. Anyway,
he can
because,
replace
they
one of the
were-
doctors we're about to lose.
Yeah, because they were very flirty. Because
were.
you can just have a conversation, but they were very flirty.
Oh, yeah,
I
they were
don't-
playing
I wouldn't
darts.
say they were very flirty because I feel like I've seen
They were
her
conversational,
flirty.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he kept it professional enough. Like he like hinted in his professionalism that like, you know, like
Yes.
Yeah.
But whoever he is, like I thought he did a good job. Like
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
to her and not like making it seem
It was like they were just
it wasn't
Treading
that awkward
waters,
flirting.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it wasn't that awkward
Right.
flirting, but she like Meredith had the little smile and smirk that she does.
oh yeah.
that she doesn't do often.
She's playing
so that, to me, it
darts.
was like that was very flirty.
Right.
For
I
Meredith.
thought he was going. I thought for a second they might have met previously, just because he said once he finds out that like she's Meredith Grey, thanks to Joe saying like you're welcome or I'll grab it, Mrs. Grey, whatever, and he puts the two dots together, and then he goes on to express how he hated her. I thought
Yeah.
there was going to be.
I was gonna be like, oh,
I was like
snap.
waiting for
Yeah.
like the ball to drop. Like, oh, you've met him before.
Mhm.
I thought she did something specifically to him, but really, she just beat him to the punch.
I agree.
Mhm. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, bring McCharming back.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot we named him that.
Me too. I forgot that too.
We miss McCharming
Miss
too.
McCharming.
Oh my
We need to
goodness.
like put that on social media so that they bring him
Yes,
back.
it needs to be patent.
But
Yeah.
I lost my thought about the bar. The guy at the bar.
Wow, I gave him a name. His name's Joe.
His name's
Yeah.
Joe now.
In the bar. But I feel like we saw another kind of like similar moment like we did with Teresa in Arizona, where Joe, I'm literally gonna call him Joe, and Meredith, he kind of basically like helps her to see, you know, that it wasn't necessarily Marie, you know, Saron's fault about the Grey method, about like leaving her out, and I guess he kind of like triggered something in, you know, her
Yeah.
mind to like, you know, like, hey, I need to give her the credit that she deserves, which I thought was not unexpected of Meredith, but very big of her.
Yeah.
It was, but you could tell how hard it was.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even after she like didn't want to talk about
Yeah.
it. She's like, I've said all I need to say. What do you
Because while they were talking at the bar, I was a little bit nervous thinking that she was going to say too much of something. I didn't really know what it was, but like talk to him a little bit too much before she revealed who she was or before
Right.
Joe, the other
Yeah.
Joe blew her cover. That something she was going to spill and talk too much that would come back and bite her in the ass.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Right.
That didn't happen. But there was, because you know, Grace can set it up that way. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
what is happening with
Yes.
the scene? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, why are we having this scene? But that was good for her to be able to do that. Like, I have that power now to be able to come and rename this method because she did help, you know,
Right.
and she shouldn't be like the second man on
Yeah.
the moon who no one remembers.
I
Right.
agree.
Right.
And I thought at the end, so like we said, she had a hard time talking about it. So Marie comes up to thank her for that. And I thought Marie was going to say, you know, apologize for how she reacted with the mini
Right.
livers and the
Yeah.
polygram and
Right.
things like that. And maybe take that back. Like, you know what? That's yours, or it's your method or whatever. I will fall back. But
Right.
maybe because Meredith felt the way that she did, she didn't really give Marie a chance. But I thought Marie would just blurt it out like, thank you so
Yeah.
much and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But Meredith is like, okay, you're welcome, and that's enough.
Yeah. She essentially just dismissed her.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I would have done the same, but like I kind of felt that it was appropriate. Like there's not really much to say after this. Like take your credit that Meredith gave her and leave.
Yeah.
Mm.
True. That's about it.
So you know.
Let's so we still have to get to our special segments in a minute, but let's talk about Roy and Bailey real quick.
Do we have to?
Just for I said real quick.
I
Real
love
quick, just for a
Bailey. I love
second.
how she she solved it true Bailey fashion.
Yes.
Like
I think that's what I
exactly
really
how
wanna
I would have
talk about.
assumed
Yeah.
she'd solve it. Like
Yeah.
kick-ass Bailey way.
Right?
You know?
Uh-huh.
That's who she
That's
is.
who
I was
she
like, you lay
is.
down that lash.
Like,
She's like,
she
I'll
was-
take you back, but. And he was scared.
He
was scared.
I'll accept your apology.
Right.
He was
like,
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 shoot.
She
You
was
literally
telling,
didn't have
Bailey
anything
was
else to
telling,
say.
Weber earlier, like, that means something to me to apologize to someone. You know what I
And
mean?
as
I
it
can't.
should.
It really should.
Yeah.
An apology should hold weight. So if I'm just apologizing because it's what I need to do so we don't get sued or something like that,
Yeah.
she couldn't stand for that.
Right.
She literally, like, could not say it.
and I don't blame her. I would have been the exact same way.
I actually was going to be surprised if she did it. I was
I
like,
know. Same.
Oh, okay, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like how she, Richard kind of pulled her aside and kind of somewhat took the blame and then kind of reminded her that, like, hey, I was a doctor that was
That's
operating
true.
under
Mhm.
influence.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right.
That's
Right?
true,
They
because,
all were.
Yeah, sorry. I'm itching.
No.
Because
like-
I was because I was the one that was like so adamant about the fact that no, he was under the influence. Speaking of Roy, he was under the influence.
As was
Yeah.
He didn't, like,
everyone
I
else.
was so like
Right.
he had a right to be fired. There was a
Mhm.
right to be fired, and then I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about Weber.
Right.
And he was definitely drunk and doing surgeries.
Right.
Yeah.
And just even like we talked about before, doctors, in their past have done ridiculous things that could have gotten them fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just to sit down and like break down Roy's situation, like he lied and then had the opportunity to operate and then didn't and then was put in the hospital bed and it was like, it's not necessarily like the worst thing
Yeah, that
could
anyone's
happen,
done there.
but
Yeah.
I totally think that he should have been fired too. I personally
Yeah.
just don't like him.
Me
so.
either. Really don't now. But like you said, Bailey handed it in Bailey's way.
She did.
Jazz41173 was like, she was basically sorry, not sorry.
Right.
True.
You're so right.
Yes,
She was.
that's the best way to say that. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get into our special segments and see who dropped the cure.
I know. I feel like I never know what to do for our bad lines because I have so many for the good ones.
Have a good one.
Okay.
All right.
I know how many go.
You gonna go? Okay.
You want me to
ahead,
go? Or
Tori.
I don't
Yeah.
want to say
You
yours.
go first.
Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. I'm gonna take one that I don't think you have.
Okay. You probably don't.
When Arizona was talking to Teresa, and she said, "My worst fear was my wrong,"
Oh, that's good.
and I
was
was
mine.
like,
And I only wrote one.
"See, this is why I don't go
Well,
first."
sucks to be you guys.
But
You
I
wanna
thought
take one of
that
mine?
was so true because I feel like a lot of our like quote unquote wrongs
Yeah.
are our fears.
Yes.
And it's just us not giving ourselves enough credit or being confident within us to like tell ourselves like, hey, like yes, I can do this, or I know what I'm doing, or whatever it is
Yeah.
that we need to like overcome.
I was gonna do another one with her, Arizona, but I realized we never talked about Amelia. So I'll do a quote that I got from them, and then we can quick talk about them. So it was when Amelia was taking care of Betty, and she was like, "Stop ignoring me." While she was reading the magazine, and she's like, "I'm not ignoring you. I'm ignoring your demon." And I was like,
That was good. I
Yeah.
got that one done too.
I was like, "Yes, you are," because she's been there, and I was like, "This is coming full." Also, you realize how hard this must be for her,
Yeah.
because she's literally trying to help this girl get
Yeah.
off drugs while like avoiding them herself.
Yeah.
Right.
Respect Amelia. You
Yeah.
can tell she's struggling with it, but also she's like super nurturing.
Yeah.
Right.
I like Amelia.
Yeah.
I was always like, about Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like her
I
more.
think we were about tumor. Brain
Yes.
tumor.
yeah,
Amelia.
you know what?
I
I like
forget that,
Amelia
she doesn't have a tumor
without
anymore.
tumor.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was brain tumor, Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Okay.
normal.
So my other one would be with Joe when she was telling Alex, like, you know what, you may not get that acknowledgement, you may not
Yes,
get that
that was good.
apology and things like that, because that's also good, because sometimes in life some people may wrong you, they may hurt you, and you hold on to wanting an apology from them, wanting them, or if you do something and sorry, you took care of them, you want that acknowledgement
Right.
of I was there for you, and if they
Yeah.
don't acknowledge that, that kind of hurts, and sometimes they never do. And you have to kind of let that go so you can move on
Right.
and be in
agree.
a better place for yourself.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait, let's talk about Amelia. And I also saw that somebody said we forgot about that little small scene with Jackson and April
Oh, yes, that was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
So
the
you can-
money for hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Which-
he's basically decided to pay off all the settlements himself and
Yeah.
left a little bit for Harriet.
Which, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's
That was
nice.
big of him.
Yeah.
like really big.
Yeah.
I just loved how April turned it around and she's like, "You want to hear a Bible verse that this like relates to?" And he's like, "You're gonna tell it to me anyways."
Right,
And it was
like,
just a
that's
cute
what-
little moment because
Yeah.
then he was like,
Yeah.
or she said, "You're on the right track.
Yeah.
You're on the
Yeah.
right path."
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like beautiful.
And so don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just money.
I forgot about those little things that happened in
Right,
between
and
all
Yeah,
the big
the small ones.
storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know we're getting all these closeouts of Arizona and these cute little tidbits to kind of put her character to rest, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting, again, anything from April. And
We'll-
what?
We'll get there in predictions.
Ah!
We have lots to talk about. Okay, but so let's go with our worst lines from tonight's episode.
Okay. So I don't. Mine's like funny. Where it's worse because I hate the interns. So it's. But it was actually a funny line. So when Hellmouth was like, one day she's gonna realize I'm the love of her life, and then the other intern was like, she's straight. And she said, "Ever hear her talk about Christina Yang?" I was like, it's so true. Like anyone that doesn't know their relationship would be like, "Who is this girl?" Like, what? What kind of
Right.
relationship did you guys have
No,
going on?
true.
But I'm like, that's so true. But I just Hellmouth's
Facts.
an idiot. So like, only she would ask a question like that. But I love that she has a crush on her. That's funny.
Yeah. Hilarious.
If
That's
did yours come from Meredith? If it didn't, then you can go next.
Okay, yes, it did not come from
Okay, yeah, go
Meredith.
ahead.
It came from Karina
Okay.
when she was talking to Arizona at the end. I don't necessarily think it's like a bad line.
That's how I felt
but
with
like
mine too.
it,
But
I had
another
to pick
line.
one.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just like a little selfish line when she was like, "I hate that her." What did she say? I'm going to say the exact words. I wish what was best for her wasn't worse for me.
Mm.
Which is like,
But it's a
okay,
kid.
yeah, I get that, but like, don't compare your relationship with Arizona to her relationship with her
With her
kid.
Daughter,
Yeah.
especially
Like-
you guys aren't like even official.
Right,
Yeah.
like, you
so.
don't even know what you're doing. She just
Yeah.
gave this whole spiel
Yeah.
about, like what it's like to be a mom as far as like making sure you do what's best for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you come saying, I just wish it wasn't, like
Yeah.
worse for me. Like that's so
You
selfish.
were
I
just
agree.
talking about having all this freedom and hopping to other
Exactly.
countries. Like,
Mm.
really?
Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't
So.
really like that either from her. So mine came from Meredith when she was like, "Oh, I didn't know people grew up in LA." It's like I thought they all
Oh,
just
yes.
moved there to follow their dreams.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That one was
And
good.
then have them
Shade.
crushed. I was like, "Oh, shade, man."
I was like,
Shade.
As I sit here following my dreams, they are not crushed.
But that was hilarious.
That was.
That was good. I was like, oh,
I was
accurate.
like, okay.
All right.
General assumption,
That's
yes.
okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into our predictions for next week's episode.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'll gladly sit here and watch you guys.
It gets
You
me every
caught the
time.
spell of that. So for me, I am thinking that for Joe Alex and his mom, because invited her to the wedding, and she mentioned that it might be a bit much because of her schedule and her
Yeah.
routine. So I'm wondering if maybe they may take the wedding to her.
I was having, that was one of mine. I was like, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Somehow they incorporate her.
Mm-hmm. So
That would be nice.
They also might
could
have their
totally see
hands
that.
tied at the hospital, so I don't know if they'll be traveling much.
Will it
True.
be another?
so before I saw
I'm
the
gonna predict
preview,
that April's gonna get in an accident. Shonda.
right?
Oh,
Before I saw the preview, that's what I thought. Then after the preview, yeah, their hands may be tied. It's a
Yeah.
lot going on.
Yeah.
What? I'm just so I
We're
can't
gonna
even
talk about
predict
that
because
later,
I don't
though,
want to
'cause
know.
I'm gonna cry and wanna
Yeah.
You don't wanna
cry.
cry? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like to go?
That's my prediction.
Oh.
I can't even. I just can't. But she's gonna live. I feel like she has to live. You don't tease that. I don't know. She's gotta live. Right?
She gets to live.
Everyone in the chat agrees. April needs to live.
Okay, so because no one's crying on this panel tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and share mine, and mine has to do with Amelia. And
Okay.
I don't know if Betty's going to come back into Amelia's
Okay.
life.
I hope so.
In my mind, I feel like they're gonna go back and forth with each other. Like she
Oh,
comes back, she leaves, she
totally.
comes back, she leaves. But after seeing Amelia in her AA meeting, I do think that she's gonna want to start an organization or do something to help teens or kids that are struggling with drugs.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. She
Also,
might.
guys, Matthew's in next episode, so he might be the paramedic that. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Because what keeps popping up in my head is Jackson over her
I just
body.
got
Like I just.
goosebumps. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
No, I cannot do
all right.
this.
I wanted to do our predictions first because our news kind of teases
yes.
into some of this week's episode. So let's go ahead and talk about some Grey's Anatomy news.
Okay.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so, Jesse Williams directed tonight's episode, which I see a lot of you were shouting out in the chat, but it was great.
Real quick, though, I was going to say, what did you guys think about it?
I think it was
Like,
good
knowing
for
that he directed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good for.
Wasn't it his
I thought
first?
it was, yes.
Yes,
And I
no,
thought
that's
it was
impressive.
really good.
Yeah. And then we also have Ellen told Entertainment Weekly that April and Arizona's departure wouldn't be tragic. So April ain't gonna die? Is that what I'm gonna take that as?
Right?
I know.
Unless they're really trying to pull our chain here.
Yeah.
Because this is very
I
conflicting
don't-
with
right.
the
Ellen, did you
preview.
just lie to us?
And to have so many people, like, ask, like, are you really going to kill them off? Like, I can't
Yeah.
believe you
Yeah.
do that. Like, she made it a point to say,
And there's been talk that they
that
can
wouldn't
return if
happen.
they wanted to, but then you
Right.
throw that promo in my face.
Yeah.
which makes me think that she's really not going to die. It's just like, I mean, how many times
It's
has
just a
Drake
I just can't
been
say either way because
in
I
this?
need to be prepared for the
Right.
worst. I don't
Shonda
know.
will surprise you. So
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
get past them.
and then also Ellen talked about that they're nearing the end of Grey's Anatomy, the whole series. Not that anything's written in stone yet, but her and Shonda have talked about it and they have ideas that they have going. And obviously, they had said that it's something they're going to come up with together, but it would be Shonda said it would be up to Ellen how she
Yeah.
feels
and,
too.
Yeah, and
Oh,
she's been
God.
saying like lately she wants to focus more on
Producing,
being a mother.
yeah.
Yeah, producing
Yeah.
and being a mother. Something that doesn't take so much of her time.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not set in stone. Obviously, we have one more season for sure, but it's being talked about. So which is noted. It's been
If they
15
watch the
seasons.
interview,
Yeah.
she was very clear that
Yeah.
it's very near.
Yeah.
So, my guess, like,
Maybe next
one or
season?
two
Yeah.
seasons
Yeah.
left.
Like maybe
Which I
16
mean,
to 17.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
quite a lot. So that's
but
appropriate.
then I'm like that weird person that's like, why end on 17? You can end on 20.
Yeah,
Like,
but
That's
quick
true.
tidbit. I don't know the exact number. So ER ran for either 15 or 16 seasons. Someone may have to correct
I think
me
it
for
was
that.
15.
And I heard that Grey's Anatomy wants to try to go a little bit longer because that was the longest running like medical series. So they
series?
want to beat that. So they probably may go to just do one more. Maybe.
One more
May go
for
to
sure,
16,
yeah.
just to
But then
do
top it off
that,
with 2, double it up.
right.
Right.
I say
Double
20.
down.
20.
You're right.
Honestly, 20.
Yeah, even number.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make them short seasons. And then
Yeah,
our last
sure, they
little
can do that.
our last little tidbit is that Joe and Alex's wedding will be in the season finale. So
I'm excited to see what their wedding is going to be like.
Me
The
too.
last, like,
hopefully it doesn't go how
happy
April's
wedding
did.
that I saw, that I remember, obviously, was Bailey and Ben's wedding. So I'm hoping
That they
that,
finally got to.
right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this will be a smooth wedding.
Right.
I
It
hope
may
Joe
not,
doesn't walk
But
out
I'm
on him.
hoping. Yeah.
You know,
'Cause
like
every
April does.
wedding, yeah, every wedding has had some drama.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and then
Every single one.
Christina, he
Yeah.
walked out like, oh, they've got a bad
I
history.
don't
April,
know
everyone.
if Joe and Alex will actually have trouble getting to the, like, down.
No,
the
it'll
No,
be like
they
the
won't, but-
accident that'll stir
right.
things
Like,
up.
it's just like,
But I just wanted
being
to-
able to have the wedding.
Smooth sailing. Let's
Yeah.
just everyone's there on time, no accidents. Let's just
Plus,
get
April's
married.
the wedding planner. She can't be in an accident.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. She is the
Oh gosh, no.
Oh gosh, guys. Okay, this is just so much.
Oh my gosh.
This is
I totally
tragic.
forgot about
It
that.
is.
Okay, we're not.
Well, we have what 2 more episodes.
Yeah, tune in next week. We'll all be crying.
Yes, for sure. I can't get the picture of Jackson out of my head. Like
Yeah,
of April's
or
body,
Meredith.
But
Right.
yeah, she broke down. Oh goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we will find out, and we will have our tears ready for next week.
Should I bring some wine for that?
Yeah.
Some wine and some tissue, please.
Yeah, lots of tissue. I'm just not gonna wear makeup.
Same. I don't have any on tonight, so I'll keep this going. So make sure you guys join us next week for next week's after show. I'm Elle Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV.
And I'm Krista Flentje, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Krista Flentje.
And I'm Tori Broussard. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tori_Broussard.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.